Come on. I have to turn this off here. I don't know what's happening. No, I don't want to schedule it for later. Just go on. I could just delete this. Hold on.
It says it's live on my side.
Oh, it says we're live.
Yeah, for the last 40
look at that.
seconds.
How about that? Hi, everyone. There's 2 people, and I can't get this stupid thing off of my... Hold on. Let me get rid of this. I don't know how to get rid of this. I have something on my screen. Hi, you guys. I don't know what happened today. Something's happening. Oh, there you go. I got it off. So I think we have 2 people that are logged on. So thank you for the 2 people logged on. I have no idea who it is. I literally was running late, so this is my fault, not Dr. Schultz. And then we logged on to the live that we usually log on to, and I'm like, what's happening? Like, nothing's happening. And here I must have set up I must have set up today's show on a different stage. So then we had to leave the stage and then come here. Anyway, that's over. Thank you all for being here. Good evening, James. James is let me just tell you something, Dr. Schultz. If you ever get James in your class, James, if you ever take Dr. Schultz, let her know that you're the James from YouTube so that she knows that he literally has been here for every single live we've done. And he's one of our students. So yeah, he's one of our students. So yes. So James, if you ever take Dr. Schultz, make sure you let her know that you're the James from YouTube. Okay. So today we're going to talk about Stephan Sterns. Okay. I have a few things. So as we just chat for a minute and wait for a few people to come on, I never even got to send out like a text to people that I was going live. So wait, let me just tell I'm live. I just wrote I'm live to my niece, but by accident I wrote I'm lice. That's the type of day I'm having.
I told you my phone was doing the crazy stuff today. I don't know.
Oh, so is mine, and I'm starting to think that it's that it is them like trying to get us to get like new phones. I don't know if I'm just like a conspiracy person right now today, but no, but really I feel like every now and then like my phones will stop working because it just wants me to update it. All right, so I'm logging into Patreon right now because there's a couple audios, so we can listen to an audio too at some point. But okay. So this is the thing. Is this your first time doing the Stephan Sterns, or is this the second time we did it?
This is the second time.
Okay, so you're not like just getting introduced to the case.
No.
That's good. So tell me, like, what are some of the things that you were able to find when I pull this up? Or if there's anything that, like, you know, to start us off.
Okay, well, that's vague.
That was vague. I'm so sorry. It's totally one of those days. I'm trying to pull up the I have it up, the Stephan Sterns thing from Patreon. So I have all of that pulled up. So we have like stuff that we could listen to. So I don't know if you want to start listening to something first and then discuss and then listen.
It depends on what you want to do. I mean, Stephan, like going through it, I'm having issues with some of the timeline stuff.
Okay, so for like what?
I was listening to the parent interview today, and like they were kind of like all over the place. I'm like, why are you confusing me? But you know, I don't know. I'm so troubled by this case. I feel
I am too.
On so many levels because I'm not really sure what I believe yet, or like I definitely believe that in the essay for him and Maddie, but beyond that, I'm still like trying to figure things out because I listened to a lot of stuff about Jenn today, and I just don't like her.
I know, I get why she's unlikable.
I don't like her. I think something is going on her side that we're missing.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm not sure, especially today when I was like reading some of the other stuff, like her diary entries and things like that. But so it was hard to tell when Stephan kind of came into her life because they claimed to be together for 7 years. But
And in
that
some of
was
the new
after all of her online presence. So we're
No,
missing
you're right.
a chunk of
We
life
are missing a
somewhere.
chunk.
Yeah.
No, we are. And I think that I have stuff too that I could send you like after this for you to listen to Jenn. Maybe we focus on Jenn, like we do a whole one just for her, because I feel like that's like needed, because I think you're right. So I think I'm the only one that I feel like I'm the only one that, you know, goes hard for Jenn, only because, not for any other reason. Then I just know that there's a lot of people who have been groomed. So I just want to make sure that I'm doing my due diligence there. But you're right. The more I read and the more I do this, that, and the other, the more I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like you weren't like you like what? So
But
I
I
do
think
agree with
knowing
all that.
her story, his story makes sense too. So like as I
What do you
read more
mean
of
by that?
so I think at least for both of them, even though we know he's pretty much like a pedophile and groomed and all of that kind of stuff, I think both of them suffer from an attachment disorder that turned into trauma bonding.
Yes, I do too.
And you know, that I think was like a catalyst for what happened to Maddie from both sides of them. You know, because I felt like they had very similar stories. They bonded over the fact that she didn't go into the Navy and he got rejected from the military. You know, like there was a whole bunch of stuff, and he wanted to love somebody. She needs to be loved by somebody. So I think a lot of them, they just fed off of each other, and Maddie got kind of stuck in the middle of that, you know, Sharknado type mentality that was happening there, unfortunately. But, you know, so.
Unfortunately. No, I agree with you. So one of the things that I have for us to listen to is, let me show you. So we have, let's see. So this is, I don't know, have you heard the jail phone call with his parents? It's
I don't
only a
think
couple.
so.
It's only a couple minutes. Let's
Okay.
listen to it real quick. Okay, let's listen to it.
Press 1 for English. Oprima el 2. The time is 2:02. To place a call, press 2 to enroll. Press 4 for the message system. Please enter your PIN number followed by the pound sign.
I could probably go forward a second.
Say United States minute, excluding taxes and other applicable fees. The time limit is 15 minutes. Press 0 to continue or hello, you have a call at no expense to you from
Stephan Sterns.
an inmate at
Osceola County Corrections Department.
To accept this call, press or say 5. To refuse this call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. Thank you for using IC Solutions. You may begin speaking now.
Stephan,
Hey,
where the hell you been?
I've been trying to call. We've had us on lockdown so often. Every time I've asked it, we've been on a coast-side lockdown.
Okay.
Which means I've been unable to call. I've been trying to call all weekend, too.
So you've been on lockdown all this time?
Off and on, yes. On the days that I've asked, we've happened to be on lockdown, which means either an incident has happened or they're just so understaffed that they have to lock everyone down. It's probably more to do with understaffing.
Okay. How you been?
Well, you know, the world's shittiest birthday present, so.
Yeah. And you didn't call, so I'm assuming because of changes that they prevented you from calling?
No, they were actually moving me around a lot, shuffling back and forth, so I was having to get my phone privileges jockeyed back and forth, which takes a little while. And then, like I said, the days that I was asking, we happened to be on lockdown on those days. So it's just been inconvenient.
Okay.
Very inconvenient timing. And then we were on lockdown all weekend. I wanted to call on Mom's birthday. I tried to call yesterday. I tried to call Saturday, and there's no go anytime. So. But I've been wanting to call. How have you been?
I'm trying to put this on speaker.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put this on speaker. Okay.
How have you been? Can you hear me?
Good. Can you hear us?
Yes. Is Mom there with you?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
What's that?
Stephan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
You're
you. Is
about
Mom
to
with
see
you?
where
Hang on a second.
Hallie got some of his, like, you'll see. Just listen to his thing with his mom and his dad. It's crazy.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Stephan,
I can hear you. Yes, can you hear me?
yes. Okay. I got some speaker.
Okay. Is Mom there?
Yes. Mom's with me now.
Okay. Happy birthday, belated birthday, Mom, and happy belated.
Hear from you now.
Yeah, I'm sorry I wasn't able to call you all weekend. They had us on lock.
The murder charge.
Oh, well, you know you're not.
Okay. So you got blindsided by that.
Yeah. Obviously, it's not true. I never would have wanted her gone for any reason. So, premeditated first degree is kind of a dick
I
punch.
can't believe you had the balls to say that.
Yeah.
No, I was wondering if you had any updates or anything.
Nope. We haven't heard a thing. Just, speculation that she's been
Hiding
put in an institution and hiding in an institution.
at her lawyer's request.
Yeah.
I mean, are you cooperating with police about her participation in any of this stuff?
There's been no opportunity for me to cooperate with anything. As I understand, the police keep saying that I'm uncooperative, but they haven't asked me anything to cooperate with, so whatever that means.
So your attorney isn't approaching them and saying, my client would like to speak with you?
No, my attorneys are pretty much saying to keep my mouth shut until the trial starts.
Well, okay.
Okay. I don't know why they were going to wait till the trial, but that's their business, not mine.
They don't want anything to hurt my chances.
Yep, understand. Okay.
Hey, what was Joey's last name?
Beltry?
Watch what the mom's worried about.
Beltry?
Beltry.
Beltry or Beltry?
Feltry with a V, like victory.
V.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, it's basically, obviously there's concerns that they're artificially inflating everything up as high as they can possibly do it.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So I don't know
what'll stick.
what the plan is there. If they're just trying to scare me into pleading down, or I don't know.
No, they're not.
Okay.
They're just trying to hurt me as much as possible.
Are you able to share the Saturday night before you left for Kissimmee? You were pretty upset about something. Did it have to do anything with Kissimmee and the events that took place the next couple of days?
No.
Okay.
No, I was just stressed out about money and job and everything like that.
Some woman got on a YouTube thing and said that you weren't even at the party.
Party?
Yeah, her birthday party.
Yeah, I haven't gotten there yet. I went up there Sunday evening and got there after she was done at her party.
Oh, okay.
And we were very happy that I was there. We were very happy that the three of us were together. It was shaping up to be a great week and a great visit. There's no reason for anything to happen that happened.
Is there some explanation of I came up Wednesday morning, met you at the hotel early in the morning, and is there some explanation why you left and went where you went?
I was driving around.
Okay, understood you were driving around, but they know where you were driving around.
Yeah.
And we know.
Okay. I had wanted to grab a few things and get my ducks in a row, kind of prepare myself for whatever was coming, but I couldn't find what I was looking for.
Okay.
And then I ended up just kind of driving around aimlessly.
Okay. I mean, you asked me to come up, and we hardly spent 35 minutes the entire time I was there throughout the entire day. And it's like, I wasn't sure why I was there. And then I was caught off guard by what happened later that afternoon, and obviously haven't seen you since.
Yeah, well, I just felt like I needed an ally there.
Well, I wish you had come to me and talked to me about some stuff, and maybe we could have helped you out in some way, giving you some advice. But certainly, under the extenuating circumstances, what was later discovered obviously couldn't help you any further than what had already taken place. So the most logical thing would be to have, face up to it and have a conversation with the appropriate authorities or get an attorney or something. But be that as it may.
Yeah, well, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we got a copy of your birth certificate for Sheila Marino and for your case. We're trying to get hospital records from the TBI, but Sarasota Memorial says you were never a patient there, so that was ridiculous because we know you were.
Yeah. And were you able to find my Social Security card?
Yes.
Good. I presume it was probably in that mouse toy box with everything?
I don't know.
No, it wasn't.
It's in
No, I don't recall where it was, but it wasn't. It wasn't there. But
I don't remember if you had confirmed or not. Were you able to find my watch?
No, we weren't.
Yeah.
So
there was no popcorn box.
Little silver mouse
we already
toy.
had your Social Security card. So why did you think we need I already knew your number. I don't. Why did you think we need to find the card?
Just in case I was going to need it in the future.
Okay. Well, we have that.
How long I'm going to be here, if or when I'll ever be released, or if you guys are going to be around at that point. But birth certificate, Social Security card might be things I'll need in that case.
Well, the penalty for the crimes you have been charged with carry a minimum 40-year sentence. So obviously we're going to be gone. Rick will be gone. We'll all be gone. I mean, we're sad about that, obviously, because there won't be anybody here for you when you come out.
Yeah, and I'll be lucky if I have another 40 years left in me either. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess everything sticks.
I wish there was a way that, you and I can have a conversation, all of us could have a conversation to understand what's taken place, how this came about, how you arrived here, because it would help us better understand the situation, because we're at a loss for understanding how all this came about. I mean, we're just totally baffled.
Well, I didn't start it.
you didn't start it, but you participated in it, which is just as bad as not starting it, but that's for another day. Again, I don't know if
details or anything, but, you know, I mean, if you'd like to schedule a visit with me or something, maybe we can find some way to talk.
I don't know. I think we're always going to be recorded, so there won't be an opportunity to do that. Now, we have to make arrangements for you to sign off on a power of attorney so we can do something with this car.
Yeah.
And I would have to bring a document over. They won't even let me see you. I would just hand it to the classification officer. He would bring it in, you sign it, they would notarize it, give it back to me, and I would leave.
Okay. I think I just got the 1 minute warning.
Okay.
So yeah. Give them whatever you need, and I'll sign whatever I need to sign. In the meantime, I'll try to call back in the next couple of days and we'll talk some more. If you wouldn't mind putting a little more money in my commissary as well.
Of course.
All right. I can't do much stuff because we are really, when I say dead ass broke, I mean dead ass broke, but I'll do what I can.
Okay, I appreciate
that could change, but right now, for the next 30 days, we are definitely in lockdown.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that?
Well, I think his parents think he's guilty. His dad, at least, it sounded that way.
And it's not funny, but it's ironic because his dad, I think his dad thinks he's guilty, but I think his mom tries to like blame Jenn.
Yeah.
So I have other audio.
Yeah, if you listen to the interview with the police, she blamed Jenn for so many issues. Not so much about like anything, but like she did not like her, because she claimed she was bipolar, bisexual, drug addicted. Like the list went on and on. So
that's the one you listen to? That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know exactly which one you're talking about. She's like, she's bipolar, bisexual, a drug addict. That I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yep.
That's actually pretty funny. When Stephan gets arrested, hold on, let me see if this is the one. When Stephan gets arrested, the dad, I don't know if you took notice, but the dad there was like, you could tell he's a little bit annoyed because he's like, why did you even make me come down there? So this is the deal. Yeah. They live 3 hours away. So if anybody's watching and doesn't know, the parents live 3 hours away. And so Stephan winds up having his dad come down. And if you want my opinion, it's clearly because the dad was going to pay for the hotel room. If you had to tell people out there listening right now, if they have a 38-year-old son still living in their house, like, I just feel like the parents, and I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I think the parents are more at fault than Jenn Soto as far, like, I know people are going to come at me for that, but I feel like Jenn Soto, when you look at her stuff, I think she's selfish. But I also think she was groomed by Stephan. And I think that the more we learn about Stephan's parents and even Jenn's parents, we're going to learn that they both experienced trauma in childhood and then bonded in adulthood. Like you said in the beginning, they trauma bonded. I literally have that in my stuff over here about trauma bonding. So I literally wrote, wait, ready? I wrote, Jennifer remains calm when asked about disturbing evidence, even after detectives show her the image of Madeleine's notebook drawings, which I showed you.
Yeah,
that was horrible. So for anybody that doesn't know about the notebook drawings, there's a picture and it literally has like the pie thing because it's a math copybook. And then next to it is a picture. It's like hand drawn from a girl and she's on her knees. And then there's like a man standing there and she's like giving him fellatio. And then there's another picture where it looks like if you were the gynecologist and you were looking, that's literally what she drew. So both of those things to me were a cry for help because you keep those books at school. So why weren't the teachers really looking at that? I mean, I'm not trying to blame everybody else. Like I feel like Jenn Soto was trying to do, so I don't want to do that. But what I wrote here was, Her uncertainty about pressing charges. Oh, because they ask her if she wants to press charges, Jen, at some point, and she says, "Can I decide later?" Okay. Hi, Brian, you made it. There you go. I'm glad. So I put for my psychological insight that this hesitation speaks to the power of trauma bonding and learned helplessness. After years of emotional manipulation, Jennifer may have felt trapped in a cycle where she cannot see herself as capable of making decisions without Sterns. Narcissists like Sterns use their power to create dependency, and Jennifer's mental health struggles likely deepen this bond. The fact that she asks whether she can change her mind later about pressing charges suggests that she still feels emotionally tied to him, even as evidence against him becomes undeniable. This is a common reaction for victims of long-term abuse, where they feel conflicted about leaving the person who has controlled them for so long. And again, we call this cognitive dissonance, right?
Yeah.
And then I go on even over here, even more, you guys. And if anybody has questions for us or comments or whatever, please write them in the box and we'll answer them to the best of our ability. But I put over here that with the drawings, I put the discovery of Maddie's drawings, depictions of the abuse she was enduring. So it literally depicted what she was enduring. So anybody that would have seen this, whether it be her mom, her teacher, and I believe her mom was a substitute teacher for a while. So she could have very well seen this as well. But I put that Sterns was deceiving everyone with his doting stepdad persona. This case shows just how deeply a narcissistic abuser can infiltrate the lives of their victims. Trauma bonding left Jen emotionally tied to Sterns, and her mental health struggles made it difficult for her to recognize the extent of the manipulation. Even though Jen eventually cuts ties with Sterns after his arrest, the emotional damage he inflicted will likely take years to heal. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. I think Jen has some other things, but as a whole, I agree. Yeah.
But do you think that her other things are part of the reason that she was, because I keep trying to think, and you're right, she does have other things. And the more that I learn about her, the more I get annoyed. But I also realize that could this have all been part of like why he chose her? Like, did those things precede him?
I would like to know more about how that started because I haven't heard much about that, like, because there was a lot of, so as I was reading Jen's early diary stuff, her reaction to men in different situations was
Did you find the online diary?
odd. No, what?
Did you actually find the online diary?
I listened to Plunder and she went
Okay,
through the whole
yes, she went
thing.
through it. Okay, yes.
But like somebody tried to hold her hand and she got weirded out. Someone was like, "Oh, I want to kiss you," and she started singing instead. Like to me,
Oh, I
she
forgot
already
about that.
had attachment disorder of some sort from her mother
Yes,
that
I
has
agree.
now turned into this awkward thing. I feel like there was some sort of essay on her part as well, that we're unaware of because it was
So she tells the cop that she lives on disability or off of disability, and he asks what for, and she said post-traumatic stress disorder, and he said, do you mind if I ask about like what happened or whatever? And she said that right before Stephan Sterns, she was date raped pretty much, and she said that she was date raped by a guy that she was filling out an application to work for him, but she didn't get the job, and she said that he turned to her and said, I can't hire you. I can't hire people that I want to date. And she's like, and I just felt like she was like giddy about it. That like, oh, like he's not going to hire me because he wants to take me out. Where I'd be like, you didn't hire me. I ain't going out with you, you dumbass.
So I guess my issue is part of me feels like she has the attachment style of the disinhibited social engagement where she doesn't shy away from social engagement, she interacts with it more. And now it's not quite on the level of like histrionic disorder, but to the point where she even mentions in one of her things that she wants to be loved so badly because
That's so
even like her
sad.
mom doesn't love her. So a lot of me also is unsure how truthful she is in some of these things that she's saying
Oh, you're
because
right.
of this want. I'm so confused by by her because I want to feel bad for her because I do believe there was trauma there. But at the same time, I also feel like you had, I don't know, something else happening because you also knew about the trauma but couldn't let go of the relationship because of the trauma and allowed the daughter to be groomed and things like that because you were so afraid to lose the bond.
Do you think that she knew at all about it?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
literally on an island by myself.
Yeah.
No, I'm dead serious. I am. And I'm okay with that, but I am. I'm literally, but I think that's good for people to understand too.
But
That
I
like,
definitely see if she was so if her PTSD was so bad, she could have dissociated as well. I do believe that
yes.
that could be a small possibility, but I
Well,
think
it's funny you just said that. So I literally wrote, so it's funny you say that. So I think the good sign about or a good thing for people to learn about this is we're both just as educated as each other, right? So, and we're both educated in the exact same area. So it's interesting that my upbringing and your upbringing has everything to do with the way that we both perceive the situation. And I think that if we're really just staying true to psychology here and helping people understand themselves and others better, I think that that's a true testament of how perception is reality, right? So, and it really is based off of the things that you have been through in your own life. And you brought up about you said about the bipolar disorder or the PTSD, and that you literally just said what I had written here. I forget the exact words that you said, but you were saying that, that she could have dissociated because of that. Mm-hmm. I literally write, you guys, and this goes back to how, although we might perceive this different, our facts about psychology remain the same because that doesn't change. So how we perceive that might, but not the actual facts. So Dr. Schultz is right. Well, at least I know she's right, but I'm letting you all know she's right. So anyway, I write, Jennifer's calmness in this moment could be the result of emotional dissociation, a common defense mechanism in trauma survivors. Given her history of PTSD and bipolar disorder, Jennifer may have developed an instinct to detach. That's what you said, detach emotionally when faced with overwhelming information. Stern's manipulation likely reinforced this by convincing her that he was a loving, protective figure. His ability to act like a caring stepdad was part of his narcissistic strategy to deceive everyone, especially Jennifer. The fact that she had no idea about the images found on Stern's phone and that her own phone showed no signs of complicity speaks to the depth of his deception.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny because I'm not even sure how much, while I believe he's kind of the low-key narcissist to a thing, I think by the point of when all of this was happening, I don't even think that was a factor, unfortunately. I think both of them were completely just involved without even thinking about it. So like, even though the grooming and his low-key narcissism might have gotten her to agree to whatever at the beginning, like it helped with the grooming part, I think it was going on for so long that unfortunately, I almost think like Maddie might have had sort of been in love with him a little bit.
Yes, that's what I think. That's exactly my view. Maddie's in love with him.
And that's where I kind of like lose Stephan, and I'm trying to understand how far his mental health goes because I think it's still unclear, because I don't think he would have been at the point of unaliving her yet.
I don't either. I think something happened.
Like we're missing a piece because I mean, unfortunately, even in one of the when I was listening to the parents' interview, they were saying when the cadaver dogs were being used, Jenn's car was the only thing that the dog sniffed out. His car was clean. And so I
don't understand, because I thought there was decomposition in his front seat, but I know what you're talking about. And they did sniff out Jenn's car. But remember, when she falls asleep the first night that Maddie's missing, I don't know how she fell asleep. I would never. I don't know if any of you in the chat, would you be able to fall asleep I wouldn't be able to fall asleep if my dog was missing. Like, how did she take her medicine and go to bed? So they're the things that get me. So like the things that make me lean that way. But then I think about trauma. And I'm like, the things that people put up with. And I also, her mom, and again, nobody come for me for, actually, I really don't give a shit. I'm over that. But I think that we're going to find out that her mom, Yolanda, is very narcissistic in her ways. And so is Stefan's mom.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying about the low key narcissism, that maybe it might not, like, he might have narcissistic traits. Maybe he's not a full blown narcissist, but I think that a lot of it comes from his mom. And I wondered, he does have a traumatic brain injury, according to the mom. So how much did that play into it? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
You
know.
think that plays
That
into
was,
it? I don't.
if that was the case, why aren't you on disability? Money wouldn't be, like you're constantly asking your parents for
That
money. You're
is true.
constantly living with people. If it was true, which they haven't found records, it was just like the mom's statement or
I
something.
never thought of that.
So my thing is it more like you have a level of autism instead that they put off as TMI instead, the TBI.
No, because I see him as like slimy and snaky, and I feel
So
like
do
he completely,
but
yeah, he completely understands the room, and he does manipulate. Because if you think about it, and this is another thing, Yolanda, her mom, doesn't like him, and she doesn't do many audios, but there's like one or two. That's all, and I think Plunder found them both. So Plunder, we love you, both of us. But Plunder found them both. So the one, it was like a TV interview, and it was in Spanish, and Plunder ran it through like an AI that changed it into English for us.
Yep.
And then the other one is like the police interview. But in both of them, she says that she didn't like Stephan, and they ask her why, and she says, I don't know. I never liked him. So to me, I feel like I always say we don't like in other people what we don't like about ourselves. So I feel like she saw in him what she didn't like about herself. So maybe she couldn't put a finger on it, but that's what it was.
Yeah. Well, and especially if the mom was narcissistic in nature, which I also agree she was, there's a competition.
Would you ever tell your kid, I almost said his name, but I don't know if you even want his name out there, but would you ever tell your son he can't come home from college and stay with you?
No.
Did you get to that part of the,
yeah.
Isn't what, didn't
I
that
saw that whole thing. Where she was like, don't come home. You can come back to Orlando, but don't come home. So I feel like, again, that's where we're missing some, because on the other hand, if she finally got to New York City and away from her mother who gave her all this trauma, why are you trying to go back into that situation anyway? And then
because it's like an abusive relationship, right? Why do people do that?
I get that. But then it even took her like over 6 months to act, like the date kept going back and back and back before she actually went back down there.
I agree with that.
Then her purpose to go back down there is she ended up going to university in Tallahassee. And then I don't really know what happened there. Then she called herself a dropout.
I didn't get that far into it. I found the actual site the other night, and there's like multiple links, which I don't know if Plunder knows that, but there was like other things that you could click on, and I clicked on them, and I literally swore that I saved it to my computer, and I just can't find it anywhere. So I'm like, maybe I didn't, and I thought I did, but I will find that at whatever. But so that we can go over.
Sabotaged her all the time.
Yes, like she wants to lose weight so that she could be part of the Navy.
Yeah.
And the mom starts making like steak and stuff in front of her. And like Plunder said, had she been more, that's another thing.
Knowledgeable.
Yes, I think that she lacked insight and knowledge. Like nobody ever taught her about nutrition and stuff. So like to her, the mom was making a delicious steak that she couldn't eat, not realizing that she could most certainly eat the steak. She just couldn't have the mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
And she could have still lost weight. And I wonder how much of that this is my thing. This is why I think that this is why I go back and like, I'm more on the fact that she didn't know. She was in love with Tyler, Maddie's dad, right? Mm-hmm. And they knew each other from high school. Yeah. Then somewhere I do remember in her writing, she writes something about her boyfriend. I don't know if her boyfriend that she's talking about is Tyler. And at the time,
it is. Yeah, they think it is.
Oh, they think it is?
It's very close. It was like 2010. And so it was like almost like a little less than a year from when Maddie was born.
That makes sense. And I wonder if he was already dating Tatiana, his wife at the time.
They're not sure about that, she said in the thing.
Oh, okay. So, but I do know that he picks Jenn to go to the ball with him.
Yes.
So that must have made her feel special, like that she was chosen. The problem is she won the battle, but didn't win the war.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she wound up she stayed in Florida. She didn't move to Texas with him. So she stayed in Florida where she felt comfortable with her family. And I wonder how much of that was her mom just being like, you're going to need us for help and da-da-da. You know what I mean? Like, who's going to help you?
That definitely could be.
I feel like she has a very dependent personality.
I agree with that too.
Like she depends on everyone. Like she depends on her friends. She even depends on like songs from the Beatles.
Yeah.
Am I right? Yeah. Is that what it was about the Beatles?
She wanted to name her daughter when she was talking about like one day when I have a daughter, and this was before Tyler even came back in the picture. She was even close to being pregnant. She wanted to name her kid after a Beatles song, and like she had a list of different Beatles songs, like Eleanor from Eleanor Rigby or Penny from Penny Lane, things like that.
Isn't that interesting?
She wasn't in a relationship or anything like that, but I think again this was her. I think she built these fantasies up in her mind because she had never felt loved, and so she was pretending on some level and trying to promote what it is that she wanted, even though her last post was also very similar to that too, where she's like, I don't have any friends, I need friends, and like it was kind of a little bit of a sob story about being alone, and then you never heard it from her again. So if Tyler,
I don't know if my internet just went out.
Oh, are you good? I can still hear you.
My internet went out for a second. Okay, you can hear me now? Okay, good. I didn't hear everything you said, but I think I know what you were saying because I heard what you said before when I came back, so I think I could fill in the blank
she
a
was
little.
alone
With
right at the
Jenn,
end.
though, right? So
Jenn.
Yeah.
But I think, and then it's her thing with Tyler. And so if Tyler ends up breaking her heart, which he does basically, because he says this was the love of my life, blah, 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 blah. And then we have no timeline though of when Stephan kind of comes into her life after this part and like what happened in between those two things.
I think it was I think that he came into her life. Plunder has it up too. It's like pictures of she's at like a wedding or whatever, and Maddie's in a picture in a pool, and it's her, Maddie, and him, and Maddie's on his shoulders. And I believe that was the first time that they, like the first time they met. And I believe they said when you look at the court documents and you put them side by side, the night before was the first time. It was the first incidence of him assaulting Maddie, and that was the time where he told her if you lick it for 3 seconds you could play with the phone.
Okay, but it wasn't the first time they had met.
Oh, I hear what you're saying. No, maybe not. I don't know.
So like what was her mental health like between the time Tyler left her to take care of the baby by herself? What was her relationship with her mom like? I think that would be super telling to how Stephan even comes into her life, how it looked from the very beginning, even though you guys were on and off. And, that's the part I don't get, the on and off part. So something had to be happening because I feel like there wouldn't have been an off because of the trauma bonding unless something major happened.
So that's like funny you say that because I have, well, let's keep it to Stephan, I guess, but I have unredacted. So they had all of like the audio that came out so far was redacted. But now they have the unredacted ones. So should we put one of them on here?
Listened to a couple of them.
Did you hear the unredacted ones? It's crazy.
Some of them, yeah.
So wait, should we either let's listen to one other thing. That way we break it up a little bit. Should we listen? And we could like start it and stop it type thing. Okay. But there's a couple I have here. Wait, let me show you my screen and then we could pick it out together. And if anybody else has any, insight, let me know. So I'm going to stop the screen sharing and then reshare it. So here we go. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Is this the one? Or is this the one? I think this is the one. I know,
she also knew what she was getting into with Stephan too. That's the other thing that bothers me. So like she said when they were first dating, he said he dated someone who, when he was 18, who was not of age.
See that thing though? I don't know. See, this is my thing with that. Okay. My thing with that is if you do the math, he was 19 when he graduated high school.
Mhm.
So at 18, he was a junior in high school. If you remember back when you were in 8th grade, didn't you lie about like your age?
Of course, I don't have a problem with him being 18 and the girl being underage or whatever. But I find it weird, even when she was talking about the questions she would ask him or the questions she would say. I feel like those are things you would only say if you knew something was off about Stephan. You know,
Gotcha. Oh,
you
I
know,
see what you're saying.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I would have asked more questions and you kind of were just like, yeah, no big deal. But then I kind of tell him, my one biggest fear is that when my daughter's 18, you'll want to be with her. Nobody says that. And so
That is so weird.
so I feel like, did you already know Stephan was off, or did you need the love so much that he came in and was like a knight in shining armor?
I think it was the second,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
where
I think it
you're
was the
like, oh
second.
my God, he's taking care of me. He's taking care of my daughter. And so it was very easy to be a groomer in that situation,
Well,
but
wait. So we keep talking about like we don't know what Stephan Sterns is, whatever. Why don't we listen real quick to the unredacted? It's only like 20 minutes, but we'll stop it or whatever here and there. But it's Stephan Sterns unredacted, and it's 16 hours after Maddie goes missing. So I think that's perfect because we could see. Now you guys have to remember 16 hours, and we know that he took her life. Like he all but admits that to his dad when he said that I didn't start it. Like who even
well, I'm not sure
why
if
did
that's
his
what he was
dad?
saying. I think he was saying I didn't start the relationship because of the essay pictures. Remember, he's charged with sexual assault and murder one.
So you think he was like
I'm
trying to
not
blame
sure.
Maddie?
Because I mean, in court, he still pleads guilty, not guilty to both. Oh no, he pleaded guilty to all charges, right?
Did he?
Did he
Wait,
plead
no, I don't
not
think he
guilty?
did.
No, he pleaded not guilty
Not guilty.
to all charges. Now,
I don't know. How do you plead not guilty? I
the
don't know.
60 essay ones, it was on your phone, and so I think he was saying, yes, we were in a relationship. That
You guys, I think that's what we're all going to find out. I think we're going to, and I've been saying this from the beginning. I think Maddie was in love with him. I think she thought he was her boyfriend and that she had to keep it secret.
And so I don't know if, and I hate to say this, but what if she got mad at him for not making it to her party and they got in a fight and then she threatened to tell the world? Because I also read that Jenn and him were very concerned that she was also becoming bipolar. There were signs that she might have bipolar as well. And so I'm wondering if maybe she was having one of those moments, and you kind of went off on him and then he didn't have a choice but to unalive her, to save himself.
Or they might have thought she was pregnant. I don't know.
Or you've said that before too. So that could also be
we'll say.
something. I don't know.
And again, she didn't have to be pregnant. She didn't have to be pregnant for that to be real. Like she literally could have thought she was pregnant. And that's actually enough for someone to do that. All right. So let me put this on real quick. We'll listen to a little bit of this and let's see. So you guys, this is 16 hours after he did what he did.
To Florida. I'm sure you're aware.
Case number 24-11313. Today's date is. Notice that there was like a lot of messages between you and. Can you explain to me what your relationship is between?
Yeah.
When you hear pauses, they're redactions, so it still is partially redacted.
Mostly things like, when are you going to call us? When are you going to come up here and visit? You poopy head, get online, things like that.
Head.
Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Your phone. I told you that I was gonna hold on to it, and that we would like to download your phone, right?
Okay.
Is this something that I have your consent to do, or do I need to get a search warrant for your phone?
It should be fine.
You're okay with us going through your phone?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have the pin to your phone?
42586.
You guys, I'm not going to keep stopping it for everything, but I haven't heard any other creator make the connection yet. But 42586 is his birthday. Like, he wasn't even that creative. Oh, it's going in and out. Hopefully, all right, I'll fix my router.
42586. Okay. Thank you so much. And then, okay, so when you guys,
There too. We're just chatting.
okay, I noticed that at some of the times that you guys are FaceTiming, it's like really late. Is it normal for her to be in bed late?
Yeah.
Okay.
And her bedtime's usually around 10:30, 11 o'clock. I talk to them both before bedtime when I'm not here.
Okay.
10:30 is supposed to be her bedtime, but she gets to push it sometimes.
Okay. When you guys are FaceTiming. Okay.
She asked all the
So I
hard questions.
FaceTime with her. Sometimes FaceTime when I'm both together on one of the phones.
Okay. And then you said that yesterday you accidentally factory reset your phone, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember what time that was?
No, it was sometime in the morning. I've been pushing off doing an update for a while.
Was that before or after you went to the smoke shop?
Before? I'm not sure. I'm not a morning person. It's a newer phone. I was doing this update. It had some sort of weird option at the bottom that said something about reinstall everything, and I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing.
Okay, can you
Jenn was
explain
right
to
there with
me? Where were you? Like, were you in your settings?
I was following whatever the links were for the OS update.
Where I don't have an Android, so I don't know where.
I'm not super tech
Is
savvy.
it like
I'm
a
so sorry.
text? Was it?
It was a push notification that came in at the top that I had just been ignoring
Oh,
for
like
a long
up here.
time. Yeah.
Okay.
And then it was a boneheaded maneuver.
Okay, and then where did it direct you to?
I don't know. It took me to a page with all the stuff in the system, and I clicked something. I wasn't paying attention.
Do you remember what it said? Like, what kind of update was it?
It was like a big OS update, and it had all these options, and it was like reinstall something with all the apps and stuff. Reinstall everything, the apps and stuff. I don't know exactly what I said. I pushed it, and it started doing the update, and then it turned into some sort of
I'll pause it and
reset or something. I'm not sure how I did that.
Okay.
I was half asleep, and
then when you came back to get your key,
ran inside, got the key fob, ran back out again.
Okay, where did you park?
Right up here, I think.
Okay. How long would you say you were inside your apartment for?
Literally long enough to run in, grab the fob, and come back out. So.
Okay, and then what did you do?
Most.
What did you do when you came back out?
Got back in the car and went back on the morning mission.
Okay. The camera has you in the complex for 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Does that seem about right?
Yeah, coming into the complex, driving around, parking, getting the fob, coming back out. Sounds about right.
Okay. And then You leave, what time would you say you dropped her off at the school? Or not at the school, but in the area?
My estimate was sometime between 8:20 and 8:40.
Okay, the camera has you leaving the complex at 8:31.
8:31. Okay, so it must have been closer to 8:40 then.
Is there anything you want to say? Like, I
Me?
figured I'd stop it for a second, like, instead of listening all the way through it just to see. Yeah, like, is there anything, like, so far? Like, Brian was saying he's actually pretty good as far as criminals go. She's asking too many questions. He's going to slip up. My thing is this. Yeah, right, the math ain't mathin'. My thing is this, right? You would think, like, this is the thing. This is one of the things that goes in, like, the narcissist thing when I, like, think about him. He's a different type of narcissist, but I don't know. But this is my thing. A lot of times with narcissists, and even if he's not, maybe he's just dumb or just doesn't have insight. But a lot of times they think that they're getting it over on you and they don't see that we see right through them. Does that make sense? So to people out there, so I think that he really thinks that like he has an answer for everything to this detective. But I think Brian's right. Like she's asking the questions and you would think that he would know by now. She's already asked 2 questions that she already knew the answer to. Why wouldn't she know the answer to the next question?
Yeah.
Like start telling the truth or something. All right, so let's listen on more.
Okay. And then
Sorry about that connection.
Waited. It was supposed to be open, but it wasn't. I waited a little while to see if they were just being slow about turning on the open sign. They weren't, so I went home at that point.
how long do you think you waited?
5-10 minutes maybe.
Okay, so if you drop her off at like 8:40, how far is a smoke shop from there to where you dropped her off?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many minutes. How far?
Watch, I'll find an excuse.
Did you go
Kristen.
anywhere else after the smoke shop?
Sorry. I don't know. I don't think I went anywhere specific. I was just driving probably in the direction of home. But I don't remember stopping anywhere specifically.
And you were there for 5 to 10 minutes.
Roundabout, I think.
Okay, so like let's say you drop her off at 8:40. We don't see her car coming back south until 10 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing between 8:40 and 10 o'clock?
Cruising around a little bit.
Okay, but I asked you earlier, you know, like what you were doing, and you said you were there for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then you came back home.
Yeah, well, I went to the smoke shop, like I said. But I may have been meandering around the area, but made my way
Who's
home.
meandering?
Okay, but I'm asking you earlier, right? And even like the first time we talked to you, you're not telling us that you're like, you know, just cruising the area, like you're coming home. So I need to be able to explain to my supervisors why there's such a time gap.
I mean, I don't know what to say. It was just a normal day. I didn't have anything important to do. The smoke shop was supposed to open soon, so I made my way over there. Wasn't any particular rush, though.
Okay, but can you help me explain to them? Because I don't know the explanation or the answer to this question, okay? So can you help me explain to them why there's such a delay in the time?
No, can't explain it. I wasn't going anywhere in particular. I wasn't doing anything in particular. Just making my way to the smoke shop. Waited for them to open. They did not open. And then I left.
Where did you go from there?
From the smoke shop, I went home.
Okay, the smoke shop is like 10 minutes from here, right?
15, 20-ish, something like that.
Earlier you told us it was 10 minutes.
Time is not a strong suit of mine. I'm guesstimating here.
I understand, but I have to be able to explain, you know, where you were for an hour and 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And right now I can't explain that.
Okay. Smoke shop was supposed to open close to 10. I waited. They did not open. And I came home.
Okay.
What time specifically is it supposed to open?
10 o'clock is when it's supposed to open.
So why'd you go at 8:40?
Like I said, I didn't go exactly at 8:40. I went to the smoke shop after I dropped her off.
But even if it was 9 o'clock, that still would have been an hour before they're supposed to open.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you think it would be open?
I didn't think it would be open. I was hoping I would get there early enough and wait for it to open.
So you would have waited an hour for
He
it
forgot to say he was
I did
meandering.
not wait an hour. I got there maybe 20 minutes before it opened, 15 minutes before it opened, and just sat and waited.
But then you're seen coming at 10 a.m. when it's supposed to open, already coming down.
Leaving because it was supposed to open at 10 a.m. I waited a few minutes after 10. They were not opening, and that's when I left.
You did not wait a few minutes after 10.
What do you mean?
At 10 a.m., you were seen coming down southbound on Jongyang Parkway at the intersection of Jongyang
At 10
Parkway.
a.m., I was still in front of that shop waiting to see if they were going to turn on the open sign.
Okay, but if you dropped at 8:40 and you said you only waited for a couple minutes at the smoke shop, why would you still be there at 10?
I waited to see if it would open, and they did not open.
We got that part. But you said you were there for a couple of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said you were there after a couple minutes after 10. So that's...
It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
I apologize for that. I'm trying to help you out the best that I can, but
Right. So, like, give or take 10 minutes. You make it to the shop around 9, the smoke shop, and you sit there and wait for a couple minutes for it to open. Mm-hmm. Does it make sense that you're still there at 10 o'clock?
I was there at 10 o'clock.
Okay, so what did you do before that?
I dropped her off, and I made my way over. Not a direct route, but I made my way over there.
Did you stop anywhere on your way to the smoke shop?
I don't think so.
Do you have problems with your memory that you can't recall what you did?
Yes, I'm extremely ADHD. I'm sorry. So just details start to get fuzzy after a while. Even the times I'm giving you are my best guesstimates here. Didn't have my phone with me at the time, so I wasn't aware of exactly what time.
There's no time on your car?
Transpiring. There probably is, but it's not my car. It's my parents' car.
How certain?
There's like a few different things I can't. So he said about ADHD, like Brian saying, you're right. We need to like let people know. So, okay, this is what he claims. He claims that with ADHD that he calls it time blind. So I get that like with ADHD, there's times where I'm definitely into an activity or into something and I don't realize that like I've been into it for 8 hours. I have only thought it was like an hour, but like I don't use the word time blind. I don't. And then he says that his memory isn't good because he has ADHD. My memory is amazing.
So your memory only worked and your timing only worked for the parts that you gave, but the parts in the middle, you just don't remember? I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. And I think Brian was right about the fact that you could tell that he's getting annoyed because he's so used to everybody just listening. Even his dad, when he called, like when we listened to the 911 or not the 911, the jail call, like the dad, I forgot to like say something at this time. Wait, I was diagnosed with ADHD and then illicit memory. Yes, I have ADHD as well. And that's bullshit. So my memory is amazing. So, but he talks about how he's not a morning person, which is so annoying to me. He says that like 10 different times. He's like, I'm sorry. I don't know. What about him saying when she says, so you didn't have a clock or whatever? And he goes, no. And she was like, there wasn't one in the car. And he said, but it wasn't my car. It was my parents' car. What the fuck does that mean?
Okay. It's probably on the dash like most of them are.
Seriously. So like, I think like he's not used to getting these questions. I don't think Jenn questions him. And I don't think his parents question him. And I don't know if it's because he has a way of like coming back with something every time, or is it just that after so many years of it, they just get like like they're just like whatever. Like I don't know what it is, but I think that it's weird that nobody ever questions him. Like I feel like this cop is the first person to ever hold him accountable for anything. Like how she says, is there something wrong with you that you don't have a good memory? Like I feel like Jenn doesn't ask him things like that. Like, where did you drop Maddie off? Where exactly was it? Take me to the place. Like,
well, even his dad in the phone call over the thing, he's asking him things, but not following up. Like, you're already questioning where he was and what he was doing. Why aren't you asking more questions? And then let him say, Dad, we can't talk about this over the phone. And that would be on him at that point, you know, but.
You know what else I noticed that nobody ever says about that call? They ask him about why he hasn't cooperated, and his exact response is because the police say that I'm uncooperable. Okay, first of all, that's not a word.
Yeah.
At least I don't think it is.
Well, he said people are saying he's uncooperable, but he's like, I haven't been asked anything.
Thank you. Nobody picks that out, Anya. I swear to God, that's been driving me nuts. I've been watching every creator talk about that thing, and I'm like
right here, they're asking you tons of questions. So obviously they've asked you.
Yes, but how can you both be uncooperative and not be
wondering if they're thinking uncooperative, like in this instance, you know, maybe not like I'm not willing to not answer anything, but my answers are not satisfying you. And so you're seeing it as uncooperative, you know? So I think that's like with the narcissism. And it's like, I answered your questions. If you don't want to believe what I'm saying or understand what I'm saying, then that's on you, you know? And so maybe it's more of that type of uncooperative.
Brian, are you in school to be a psychologist? You have very good insight. So Brian says they did a great job having a woman asking him these questions. They think it was deliberate because he thinks he can get over on women the most. And I totally agree with that because in his past, he has gotten over on women the most. And what about even the fact that like he works at Disney and stuff? Like,
with
all
children.
of it is just with children.
Yeah.
It's all torturous. Should we listen to more or should we talk about something like
whatever you want to do?
All right, let's listen to
And
you guys tell us too in the chat what you want. Brian, do it.
90% sure.
What makes you think that you were there at 10?
I saw lights on inside the place. It looked like they were coming to life in there. So it looked like they were about to open. And I was waiting to see if they were going to turn on the open.
Do you remember if there was anybody inside?
I couldn't see inside from the outside. But after I came home and then went back to the smoke shop again later, when they definitely were open, I stopped in and got my vape juice finally. I don't remember the name of the guy working there, but he was like a skinny guy, short, skinny guy.
When you came back for the fob, did she go inside with you?
No, she was in the car still. She was asleep.
Where in the car?
Passenger side.
The front seat?
Correct.
Okay. Did she at any point go in the back of the vehicle, like in the back seat?
No.
So she was in the front the whole time? Awake or asleep?
She was asleep.
Okay.
She was confident. We had gotten up.
How was she positioned in the front seat?
Leaned back in the seat, just kind of conked out napping.
Where was her head in relation to the seat?
Sorry, I was muted. I just wanted to say, Brian, so you're onto something there. So they do see Maddie in the car. And like I said, you think he would get already that like they clearly know more than he thinks they do. So they have photos already of him at the dumpster at 7:30 in the morning. Also, he goes back for his key fob. He forgot his key fob. My thing is, you were already at the school, so you turned around with Maddie to go back to get your key fob. He must have known that there's cameras when you come in and out of the complex, so he had to be honest and say that Maddie was still in the car because he had to have known that they were going to go check and that if they see Maddie in the car, then they get him right there. So how sick is this? One of the reasons they were able to conclude that Maddie was dead was because there was like over a period of 3 hours, they caught him on multiple cameras, and every time she was in the car in the same position, and then all of a sudden she's gone. Then what they did was they went back and they followed him, and he goes into a parking garage, and they subpoenaed the parking garage, and they said that you see him go over and pick her up and put her in the trunk.
Mm-hmm.
What a piece of shit. And he said that it was a dick punch, that he got first-degree murder for his birthday. I was like, I'd like to punch you right in the dick. You have no idea. A dick punch. Let me punch you.
Against the seat, I think. Against it.
They're onto him.
You try to, refresh your memory. When you got the flat tire on 192, what could you see around you?
It's 192. It all looks the same. I'm so sorry. I'm drawing a blank as any specific businesses or names.
It's because you're lying.
Did he pull off to the side of the road to a business?
I pulled off into a side plaza, like one of those little strips along the side. Dug around for my spare and my jack. Thankfully, we had both.
What direction were you coming in?
I was going towards John Young.
Which is funny because a minute ago he didn't know where John Young was.
That direction.
And it was a plaza. You don't remember any businesses that were in the plaza?
I don't. I was focused on the.
What color is the plaza?
Oh God, I have no
She
idea
is
what
so
color the
into
plaza was. I'm sorry, didn't even register a detail like that.
Okay, remind me again what you were doing on 192.
I was looking around at different game shops. One of my card games just had a release on Friday, Lorcana.
What card are you talking about?
It's like a trading card game. And they had a big release on Friday, so I wanted to go around.
What's the card though?
I'm sorry?
What is the game?
It's called Lorcana.
Lorcana?
Yeah, Lorcana. It's a trading card game made by Disney, kind of like Pokemon cards or Magic the Gathering.
Okay, and you stopped at what shop?
I stopped over by Target. I was going to see if they had any. I then went up and was going to go to a place called House Rules Games. That is on 192 and Oak Street.
Mm-hmm.
I did not make it to House Rules Games because I got a flat.
Take notice that when he wants to know the answer, he does know the answer, like Dr. Schultz said earlier, because they just said about the card game, and that's clearly important to him, and he knows what card games. So I think, like, for going back to the beginning too, when you said you don't think that he had this plan to do that night, I don't either. And I really do think that he really was going to look for Lorcana cards, which is why he's able to give this. Like, you could tell that his answer here is like, and he's like, it's 142 by John Young or whatever, but everything else he doesn't remember, and he's not a morning person. So keep that in mind, right?
Yeah.
Okay, which Target did you go to?
The one down on 192.
192 and what?
Is there more than one down there?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the area.
It's the one down there by the Walmart, I think. I'm not sure what the cross streets are. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I wish I could be more help. I'm so sorry.
That's grooming right there, you guys. I'm so
And
sorry.
how long will you change your entire floor?
I'm not sure how long it took. I got back here by like 2:35, 2:40, because I was trying to get home to go with her to go to school. And we needed to leave by 2:30. The flat tire.
Okay. And there's absolutely nothing that you can remember about the plaza that you got the flat.
Of course not.
No, I don't remember color. I mean, it's all just kind of brownish, I think, along there.
And you said when you got your flat, you were heading towards JYP from 192.
Yes.
Okay, where's your flat tire at?
It's in the trunk.
Okay.
I've got the spare on there right now.
Yeah, I saw the spare.
Tire was
I
apparently
don't think I have
shredded,
anything else.
which means he drove on it way longer than he should have.
It's my phone number. If you can remember where you got your flat tire, just have her send me a text message, okay?
Okay. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I know the details are important, and just the way our brains work with ADHD is those things can get fuzzy.
Dick pun.
Are you on any medication?
I'm supposed to be. I have not been medicated lately, so
Okay.
I'm not a morning person. I'm very time blind on the best of days and forgetful. So I understand that none of that is helpful in this case.
Okay.
I'm pretty sorry.
I explained that we're gonna have the apartment secured for the rest of the night. Okay?
Why? So the investigation is not going to happen tonight?
Right. The way our brains work.
It is. So
okay.
I explained to her, me and him have been out all day, right? So we're gonna go home, but just because me and him are going home doesn't mean that there isn't other people out here, okay?
So he wants to know if he can get back in the house.
We have another unit out here, which is called Violent Crimes. They're out all night. So they're gonna keep looking.
I'm gonna
We're of
skip
no
forward
use.
a sec.
That's what needs to be done, okay? The house. After a certain time, it's only one person working in that unit. And she can't do it by herself. So people come in at 8 o'clock in the morning. So when the rest of her squad comes in, they're going to come in, okay? It's going to go to our sheriff's office, which is at 2500 West Colonial, okay? She said she needed to get her medication. You're not under any medication.
I have medication in the house, though, that I do need to get my blood pressure meds, anxiety meds as well.
Okay, so I'm going to try to figure out where all of this stuff is. Where's your stuff at?
Upstairs in the guest room currently.
In guest room number 4?
Yes.
I would have went through withdrawal before I let them go in that room.
Refrigerator.
Is it? Does it have your name on it?
Yes, all of it.
Okay, where does she keep her? Where does she keep her medicine?
In her zipper case on her nightstand, I believe.
In the downstairs.
Correct.
Of course, he knows where that's at.
What zipper?
It's like a little sort of brown zipper case. It's on her nightstand. So right on top of her.
Okay, so I can just bring the whole thing out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any bottles on top of the nightstand around it too, but you might want to grab those. Yeah, just.
Is there anything that you can recall that we haven't asked you? I know we asked you like a whole bunch of questions earlier, and we just asked you like a whole bunch more.
I don't know. My brain is so mush right now. I barely slept. I haven't eaten in 2 days. I'm trying to think of questions for you.
Can I see what shirt you're wearing?
What's that?
Can I see what shirt you're wearing?
Yeah. Just a blue shirt.
Okay.
He's nervous.
Remember what shirt you were wearing on Monday morning?
I believe it was this shirt. I'm still wearing the same shirt.
Nasty ass.
Have you showered since then or anything?
I showered the other night.
Before I forget, since I'm timelined and I have to make sure that I don't forget to say this, whenever he says, or anybody for that matter, you guys, this is like a pro tip for you. Whenever you ask somebody a question, if they start it without so let me give you an example. Whenever he lies, they'll say something like, if they ask him a question, like, what were you doing, whatever, or like, tell me from the minute you guys got up or whatever, he'll say, got up 7:30 or showered, instead of saying, oh, I got a shower at da da da, or we got up at da da da, he goes right to showered at 7 or whatever, got up 7:30. So when somebody doesn't do that, that is a huge red flag, just so that people know.
No, not since yesterday. Sorry, your hair is even still greasy.
I know you got a cut, right? From
from changing the tire.
Do you mind if I see your arms?
Yeah, go for it. I changed the tire.
Do you mind taking your sweater off?
It's cold, but yeah.
He's in Florida.
I changed the tire in like 10 years. I made a rookie mistake. Got my thumb too close to the jack in the frame and it slipped. Pinned my thumb in between the frame and the jack. I got lucky. I panicked and pulled it out, which you're not supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a lot of pain. I panicked.
She doesn't care. She keeps asking questions.
Can you see the other arm?
Mm-hmm. Whatever my parents use for a tire iron.
Do you mind if I take a picture of the cut you got?
Yeah, go for it.
She don't care.
Let me see if the flash works. Okay. Can you go like this again?
Mm-hmm.
It's at the end.
And then flip it over for me.
Unbelievable.
Let me do this.
But he's trying to get it over on her.
Flip it over, please.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Brian.
Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah. She got her stuff. So let me go get your stuff and then you guys will be good to go. Okay, where are you guys gonna head? Do you know?
No idea.
Okay. Can you ask me an address of wherever you guys end up tonight?
I think my dad's on his way down too.
Of course he is. He has to save him. This is the end.
Okay. Let me just verify the pills, and that's it. Okay. And then your phone, they're gonna work on it overnight, so you'll probably get it in the morning. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So that's that, you guys. So she definitely wasn't onto him. I love that every time he was trying to get over on her with a story, she was like, okay, can you turn your hands over? And he's like, and that was a rookie mistake. And da-da-da. And she's like, okay, can you then turn it this way? Wait, my camera flashed. And I was like, yes. Like, so like that would have been really hard for me. I guess that's why there's a certain job for everyone. But I would have a hard time not being able, like, jumping in the conversation and being like, oh yeah, that sucks or whatever. Like, even if I was just playing it off, but she's just like dead ass, like do this, do that. Now, I will say one thing. I've heard another creator who is a New York detective. And from the very beginning, he said that he didn't love the way that this cop interviewed him, the female cop. And everybody like got on his ass for it because he said like there were little things. For example, when she gets his phone, she first asks if she could see his Google Maps. And he says yes. Apparently, by law, she was only allowed to look at his Google Maps. Apparently, she says, when you listen to the video, she then says, is there a reason why your text messages only go up to today or whatever? So like, why was she in his text messages? So that cop did like bring that up. And I will tell you, after we were listening to this, I was thinking, I think one of the reasons that they said not guilty is because they're going to fight the process because obviously they can't, the content's there. But that's what the defense attorney's saying is that everything from there, it's like the fruit of the poisonous tree or whatever. So anything from when she said, can I look at your Google thing? But she does eventually in the very beginning of this audio, she literally says, do I have permission or do I need to get a warrant for that? So she does eventually say it, but they're trying to say that if that initial time that she took the phone that made her suspicious, if that was an illegal search type thing, then the rest of it should be. And I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. There's a little girl that's like not alive right now. So I don't know that a judge would really rule that. And I think the reason they're doing the CSAM trial first is so that they can have extenuating circumstances so that they can try them for the DP for the other part.
Yeah.
Crazy. Do you have any closing things? I do have one closing thing. I did find last time we met and this time I've been like, I knew that I had something written on the Woody Allen thing, and I just want to go over it real quick. So I'll just like to sum it up. I put in here, Stern. All right. So this is about the Woody Allen comment. If you guys don't know what that is, she says, I don't want this to turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepfather, she says where the daughter, the stepfather falls in love with the stepdaughter or whatever, and they leave. So that's what she's referring to. So I put here, Sterns' narcissistic personality likely played a role in shaping Jennifer's behavior. Narcissists are highly manipulative, often making those around them feel dependent or powerless. Given Jennifer's reported struggles with bipolar and PTSD, Sterns would have taken advantage of her emotional vulnerabilities, reinforcing his control over her and Maddie. Over time, Jennifer may have become emotionally paralyzed, allowing Sterns to take control while she passively observed, because she calls herself a watcher. This kind of emotional manipulation could have set the stage for Jennifer's troubling remarks about Woody Allen type situation, as she was likely repeating fears planted by Sterns himself. So let me tell you what I mean. Jennifer tells the detective she was afraid of a Woody Allen type situation where Sterns might groom her daughter and run off with her when she turned 18. She even says, quote, I told him he better never do that to me. This is a shocking thing to say considering the situation, but it speaks volumes about the psychological hold that Sterns had over her. Jennifer's comment is troubling, but it offers a glimpse into the mental conditioning Sterns likely inflicted upon her. Narcissists often manipulate their victims by planting ideas in their heads subtly or overtly, suggesting things that later become part of the victim's own thought process. So Jennifer's remark about the Woody Allen situation could have originated from a conversation with Sterns. He might have made offhanded comments that suggested such scenarios, thereby normalizing the idea in her mind. Jennifer's fear then isn't entirely irrational. It's a reflection of Sterns' manipulative influence over her, making her feel both complicit and powerless at the same time. And again, so then I just put the fact that she told him he better never do that to me reflects her deep fear of being abandoned or betrayed. This phrase shows how emotional dependency and fear of loss might have driven her to say things that under normal circumstances she would likely have never uttered. Sterns' ability to make Jennifer fear scenarios like this reflects his narcissistic need to control not only her actions, but also her thoughts and fears. What do you think about that?
I agree to an extent.
Let me pull this away. Good, you could do it.
I agree to an extent. But it's funny because when I hear her say that phrase, I actually never think it's because of him. I actually think it's because of her mother.
Oh, why? Because she said, don't ever trust a man?
I think she just has been given this idea of controversy. So where the mother's always saying, never trust a man, don't do this, don't do this. But she wasn't showing those things because she always had a boyfriend in the house. And so what was happening was Jennifer was never getting attention. But what if she was getting attention from a boyfriend of the mother's? Because I do think there's some sort of essay on her part too, growing
up. So like
up.
an generational.
Yes, like more of a generational type of thing. And so when I thought she was saying that to her, I thought that was an insecurity that she almost went through on some level with her mom and that situation.
Hell, Anya, that is just a plausible explanation as my explanation.
Yep. And like I said, I don't think we have enough information on her. Like we know
that makes me want to go look it up though to try to figure it out.
Like I know her relationship with her mom was toxic. I know she trauma bonded with him. So it definitely could have been a combination of both things, definitely coming together. But I feel like we're missing some of the things that she's not saying that happened to her in her mom's.
I wonder how we could figure it out. We're going to have to go ourselves. We're going to have to do a little bit of investigative work or something and try to figure it out.
Back then there wasn't that much online. So
no, you're right. And that's the thing. The fact that she was able to put her journal online says a lot, though, because I almost feel like that's like a cry for help. I don't know, unless that was just like the first like Facebook type thing, like how we put on Facebook or whatever.
Well, I think she only was doing it when she was living in New York. So did you feel like you finally had freedom to say some of these things because you were out from your mom's thumb? You weren't having to deal with her abuse. You were living.
Did she know somebody was reading them?
A lot of people were. There were a handful of them had comments supporting her and also not supporting her. You know, and then as soon as you go back to Florida, it completely stops. And so that's odd to me as well.
I feel like her dad has always like saved her, and I feel like that's the same thing as Stephan. His dad always saves him.
Yeah. And
so I feel like with both of them, their moms.
I'd like to know more about that because while they haven't said anything, she also doesn't talk about her dad that much, except for the fact that he has been there when she needed a place to stay, is paying for her place right now, but at the same time won't pay for her daughter to have a bedroom of her own. You know, like there's a lot of weird things. So I'm wondering if she has developed a relationship with her dad that's technically not healthy or fantasized about, almost like a daddy issue that she reflects like this is what
I think the daddy issue with him, because the few things that I did see with him, like he winds up getting like he does like the road life like a lot of people did during COVID, where they got a van and converted. And I think a common theme that I see in her life is that she feels abandoned a lot. So I think if she has daddy issues, that the daddy issues are that she feels like when she needs him, he abandons her, even though he's still where she could reach him. And this is the thing too, right? She has sisters. So why doesn't this sister have the same abandonment issue? So it literally changes from person to person. So it could be her being predisposed to like something like bipolar disorder or PTSD that maybe her sisters don't have, that play a role in why she reacts one way and they might react in another.
If she's the oldest or the youngest?
Great question. I don't know. That's a great question. If anybody knows, please.
Because I would just add that to birth orders type of information and just see if that also ranks. But I think there's a lot I think that she puts off of what she wanted people to think her relationships were like. And I don't think they were exactly that.
Right. No,
she was fantasizing about them being better. And so that's how she talked about them, except for the fact that, because even she never really bashes her mother all the time, but she does say that she did not like her at times.
But isn't that like the result of narcissistic abuse? Kind of?
Yeah, definitely.
It's like I love you and I hate you at the same time.
Yeah. But then the daughter would not always love her or hate her. It would probably be closer to hate now that you're out from her thumb, but yet you were now dragged back in. So what happened?
Yeah, but the mom helps her with Maddie, so maybe that played a role too.
Because at first she wasn't bringing, because
she's very dependent.
Yeah. So
and maybe this is her way.
The daughter, maybe the mom was trying to fix the relationship through the daughter. I don't know.
I 1,000% agree with that.
Because
maybe give Maddie the attention.
18, but yet you're going to let her back in at 23, 24. Like that just, why?
That makes total sense. Absolutely. So yeah, I do think we need to look more into that. As far as for next time or whatever, do you want to come back again? I'm hoping.
Of course.
Do you think, I think we should go over to the Kohberger thing again. I don't know what the hell we're going to watch, but we have to figure something out, because that's where, like, I was looking at analytics, and as much as I'm going to stay on this case too, I think that's where people are interested in learning more about.
Sure.
So I don't know what we could possibly talk about.
I don't know.
Maybe we could like find like good, like react to something.
Okay.
Like a reaction type video where like we find something that we think is good, but we don't really watch the whole thing so we can react to it together. I don't freaking know.
Okay.
But let's think about it. So for next week, I'll put Idaho up, because I do think that that's where people, I definitely am coming back. I got to get your contact info. I'm the one who commented on the post on the FBI, your former student. Wait, oh, the post on Facebook. I just said FBI. Did you hear what I said? That commented on your post on Facebook. Gotcha. So, Brian, my contact info is my email is on my YouTube, but it's just jamievona@gmail, but it's JAIME. And then just email me or whatever, and I'll talk to you there. Or you could contact me through, if you still have my email from school. It's probably the same thing because I've been at the same school for 1,000 years. Yes, and so have you. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. If anybody has any preferences or whatever, or you have an idea that you want us to, when it comes to the Koberger case or this case, and let us know what it is that you want, because we want to bring you content that you want to watch. What I've noticed from the analytics is that we get more people right away with Idaho, and then it kind of levels off. And here we get less people in the beginning, but then it kind of picks up like on the repeat. And I also have to take into consideration that 7:30 our time is like 4:30 in California. So people are still at work. And then, it's 5:30 in parts of the country. So I have to, dinner time. So I got to keep all those things in mind too. But the numbers are looking great. So I'm happy with them. And let me tell you something, if we're here and we help one or two people and this does something for someone, then I feel like I did my job.
Facts.
Facts. No. And it's a great way to force each other to hang out, because we all know that our lives get so busy. So at least I know that I'm going to see you on a Monday. You know what I mean? It's like, I'll see you next week.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right, you guys. Thank you all for coming, and please subscribe and like and share, because I'm not monetized. So let's get the ball rolling by liking and sharing and stuff like that. Thank you, everyone, and have a beautiful evening.
Bye.
Bye.